Kevin, thank you so much for inviting me over. Your homes always have strong lines. That's one thing I love about visiting here. How do you feel about this home?
I'm very proud of it, but also very proud of the fact that the client loves it. It's achieved what they wanted, and the fact that the team, we worked well as a team, the contractors, the subcontractors, and everybody at the end of the day says, wow, we really like that and we enjoyed it.
We are also saying, wow, I mean, that's why we're here. So what was the main consideration for the home design blend?
What was important was the fact that the house was very accessible. It's an extended family. It's a family where there are people who are challenged in terms of movement. We needed all the different spaces, the different levels, that basically people could move around and everybody could enjoy the same thing. They could get into the swimming pool easily, get out of the swimming pool. They could cook in the kitchen. So everything was adjusted for those things, and yet in no way did it destroy or become, like you can see, this is definitely a home for that sort of thing. So it was a home, it does everything. And in that sense, I think it was very successful. And also externally, it makes a statement without being, it makes a statement, this is my home, but without shouting. It has a humility about it as well. Yeah, that's how I think.
That's good. It definitely has a humility around it. It's calm, but of course it screams class and style. What were the main factors that you had to consider when, marrying the client's vision and needs, and of course adding innovation here and there in the project?
Designing homes within estates, it always sets, there's a design aesthetic that they tend to want you to follow, and then they have all sorts of rules and regulations with respect to how the contractor builds, how your building sits on the site, security servitudes, etc. So all of that we had to take into cognizance, and also the fact that this was a very narrow site. It's one of the biggest sites in the estate, which helped us because this is a large house. It has a large number of bedrooms. It has double kitchen, double lounges. So to be able to fit all of that on the site without it kind of dominating the site, and without each space being able to link to the outside and the outside to come in, we had to take cognizance of that. There is a bit of a sea view from the first floor, and north light and sunlight is important.
Achieving a timeless design was paramount to the homeowners, who aimed to blend modern elements with nature. The integration of wood and shapes not only maintains a sense of timelessness, but also extends the furniture into the interior architecture.
The client has a Persian heritage. In what areas of the home have you infused that spice, just to make them feel at home and not very far from their distant family?
We have almost like a two-kitchen aspect to it. We have an internal kitchen and a so-called outside kitchen, although it became almost like a breakfast area, a sunroom. Most of the cooking is actually done there, and most of the equipment is actually there, but it's all built into the same class that is inside. It's something that in my many travels I've seen in a lot of countries where a lot of the cooking is done not necessarily in the front area, close to where people sit and entertain. And I have an interest in cooking, and I enjoy cooking, and the client and I we clicked on that basis, that I understood what they were looking to do. And the Iranian, the variety and the spices and the aroma, all of that needed to come through in a way, in how you designed it and how it eventually arrived.
So in other words, you've done a lot with the kitchen because you share the same hobby with the
Yes.
clients, which is in cooking. Well, I must say that you know your onions. But then, what factor does the natural environment or the natural surroundings actually play in the home design?
You need to consider these sort of estates. They call them a eco estate, although really an eco estate in that you bring in indigenous vegetation, you have views over natural grassland, natural and coastal forest. But in doing the garden and in doing the landscape, you use the planting to create privacy, and that planting actually also gives you shade. It gives you, as I said before, privacy, and in a way that is also part of designing environmentally.
So how did you do your space planning for the different portions of this home?
What was important was the relationship of the inside to the outside. The north facing was on the long side, which was the narrow part of the site. So we basically faced onto this long garden where the swimming pool was also positioned. And that wasn't where you would traditionally put a garden. Normally the garden would be in the front or at the back. And by virtue of the site, we did that, but it also allowed us to have all the living areas facing north and facing onto the pool and this sort of long garden. While at the same time, on the other side, that allowed us to put in the driveway so the cars went to the back. And that at the same time was also the security servitude. So the security personnel actually move along your driveway around and to the back where the cars are parked, and you enter from the front of the house.
The house and garden create a unified atmosphere where each space flows into the other without a sense of separation. Main bedroom has a balcony and an adventurous cantilever tread stair down the side over the garden to the ground and pool. The interiors remain pure, comfortable, and never fail to bring a smile to their faces.